In other news, Shakur Stevenson versus William Cepeda was all set to happen until William injured his hand while fighting Tevin Farmer last weekend. So you would naturally think Shakur would start targeting, I don't know, a Frank Martin or a Murataya, some other world champion, right? No. Shakur and Lonesome Eddie made an offer to my 22-year-old prospect, Kid Austin, who has no world championship experience.
The fight is going to happen. Cepeda is fighting for the WBC intern belt. I got the WBC championship belt. I think it's time.
The boxing world has taken a thrilling new turn when Oscar De La Hoya slams Shakur Stevenson for fighting Kid Austin, a 22-year-old boy. Golden Boy promoter Oscar De La Hoya shut down the idea of his fighter Floyd Schofield, also known as Kid Austin, being used as the challenger for WBC lightweight champion Shakur Stevenson on February 22nd in Riyadh.
This is exactly what I mean when I say Eddie doesn't know how to build a career. Look, Bob Arum built Shakur Stevenson to become a world champion. And in his first fight with Matthew, you actually want to put him in with a prospect, Eddie? I didn't think it could get any lower for you, but it does.
De La Hoya posted his clapback, trashing Shakur's promoter, Eddie Hearn, for stopping to the lowest level by choosing his 22-year-old prospect Schofield rather than one of the other stronger opponents in the lightweight rankings. This move by De La Hoya was expected after the news that had leaked that he hadn't signed off on Schofield facing Shakur on the massive Riyadh season card on February 22nd. The fight was ridiculed by fans, who saw Schofield having no chance against the 2016 Olympic silver medalist Shakur.
Shakur, give me a call. Would love to make a fight with you. He made a statement. That's the bottom line. And I think when you're in that position, when you're the #1 contender in every organization, you have to make a statement like that. And that's exactly what he did. He was relentless. He took a few shots because he's very awkward, as we saw with William with Pitbull, where he took him the distance. So I think this win for Cepeda was excellent, and now we go for the world title.
Previously, Oscar De La Hoya has reached out to Shakur Stevenson, urging him to connect and make a fight happen, but his intention was to fight with a real fighter.
Shakur Stevenson, you're a free agent, you're a great fighter, great talent, but not for me. I believe that when somebody says you're not fighting for the public, I cannot promote. Now, there's a lot of rumors going on that the Saudis are going to take over boxing and buy out every single promoter. Well, guess what? I haven't been approached, so don't believe everything you read.
He's very technical, which I love, but he throws a lot of punches, which is awesome. So if anybody can give Shakur trouble, it's William Cepeda.
Meanwhile, it would have been a bad career move for Schofield to take the fight with Shakur, unless the money was out of this world. The 22-year-old New Jersey native Schofield is ranked #2 WBA and is in a position to challenge Gervonta Tank Davis for his title in what would likely be a better paying fight than facing Shakur in a clash that would be buried beneath 2 to 3 fights on the February 22nd card. De La Hoya stated on his clapback Thursdays, "You would naturally think Shakur would start targeting a Frank Martin or Muratalla, some other world champion, right? No, Shakur and Lonesome Eddie Hearn made an offer to my 22-year-old prospect Kid Austin, who has no world championship experience." Floyd Schofield posted an email from his promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, to prove that his fight with WBC lightweight champion Shakur Stevenson is still on for February 22nd. In a post on X, Schofield compared himself to a young Muhammad Ali, pointing out that he was 22 when he defeated Sonny Liston in 1964. However, Schofield leaves out that Ali was a 1960 Olympic gold medalist and wasn't struggling to defeat Hammond Eggers like he has. Ali dominated his competition before fighting an old-looking Liston, who looked much older than his chronological age of 32. In contrast, Schofield went life and death with non-contender Rene Tellez Giron getting dropped by him and eating a lot of shots in their fight on November 2nd. In the email, De La Hoya told Schofield Sr. that he believes in his son, Kid Austin, but he wants to keep building him so he can capture a world title. He doesn't want Schofield to take the fight with Shakur and risk getting beaten due to his lack of experience. At the end of the email, De La Hoya said, "If you're telling me, make it happen, then I will." Schofield then said, "We accept the challenge." So unless De La Hoya refuses to make the Shakur-Schofield fight, it looks like it could happen next on February 22nd. However, De La Hoya hinted on his Clapback Thursday post that the fight between Shakur wouldn't happen. He scolded Shakur's promoter Eddie Hearn for choosing his 22-year-old prospect Schofield rather than other top contenders, Frank Martin or Raymond Muratalla. Interestingly, De La Hoya didn't mention Edwin de los Santos, a fighter who gave Shakur huge problems last year in November, forcing him to run for 12 rounds and land more meaningful punches. De los Santos exposed Shakur, making him look afraid and showing that he's just a runner at lightweight who won't stand his ground unless his opponents are weak and slow. Email leak. This is a message from Oscar De La Hoya. It is on Shakur Stevenson. You can't running from this. And the new power, we accept the challenge. The golden boy, Oscar De La Hoya, has issued comments to recognize the performance of Shakur Stevenson in his most recent fight, where he defeated Artem Harutyunyan by unanimous decision just on June 6th, and now he will face William Zepeda, belonging to the Golden Boy Promotion stable, in an attractive fight. Both fighters fought in the same event with favorable results, except that this was Stevenson's last fight under Bob Arum's top rank, so speculation immediately began about a possible wink from De La Hoya, with the intention of recruiting him in their ranks, as a star card in contemporary boxing.
Hey Shakur, so you say nobody wants to fight you? Well, check out William Zepeda Saturday night on DAZN. He's begging me to fight you. See you there.
In fact, there was a rumor that De La Hoya had asked Shakur to join his team in order to arrange a fight against Cameron Zepeda in a mandatory fight ordered by the WBC to put his lightweight division crown at stake. Faced with this speculation, the former Mexican-American champion himself put an end to the rumors and assured that this was not true. In fact, he asked what a mandatory fight means, in reference to what happened with David Benavidez, who, being the mandatory challenger of Saul Canelo Alvarez, could not force the super middleweight champion to hold the expected fight, as the WBC itself clarified that having this designation actually did not mean anything specific, and that Canelo could fight whoever he decided without risk of being stripped. He said, what happened then in the case of Canelo Alvarez and David Benavidez? They ordered Canelo versus Benavidez like 3 years ago, and that hasn't happened. On Stevenson, Oscar De La Hoya stated, "You are a free agent. You are a great fighter, a great talent, but not for me." His comment pleased Shakur, who responded this Thursday in a favorable manner and even reportedly showed his disappointment for not joining De La Hoya's team. What's next for Shakur Stevenson? With the WBC mandatory fight designation, the teams of Shakur Stevenson and William Zepeda are obligated to reach an agreement before August 20th. If they fail to do so, the fight could go to auction, and 70% of the shares will go to Shakur Stevenson. Once again, Stevenson decided to move up in weight, halting Shuichiro Yoshino at 135 pounds before picking up the WBC title in a famously dull and close encounter with Edwin de los Santos that was criticized by the masses. This caused Stevenson to temporarily retire, frustrated at the fact that skills were being underappreciated and that potentially legacy-defining mega fights were not happening. Yet the 27-year-old has since returned to action and routed Artem Harutyunyan in a first defense of the WBC lightweight title back in July, but still lacks the standout name on his resume that would thrust him into contention for the pound-for-pound throne. Now, whilst maintaining that he is chasing unification showdowns with Gervonta Davis and Vasyl Lomachenko, Stevenson has confirmed that he will take on WBC mandatory challenger William Zepeda in February, an opponent whom some believe could cause him problems.
Backstory. We were approached by His Excellency Turkey and asked us if we're willing to do Shakur Stevenson. And we said, yes, absolutely. Let's do it. And they asked us if he would be willing to fight him in December underneath the rematch between Usyk and Fury. So we accepted. Then they came back about a week later and they said, well, Shakur wants to do a tune-up now. So he's going to fight October 12th. He's going to fight Cordina in a tune-up. So we asked if we can do a tune-up, and they accepted. They said, yeah, put him on Latin nights. We'll put him in. We'll make room for him there. He can have his tune-up. We'll push the fight back to February now. And we accepted.
Yeah.
We wanted to do the fight direct. Shakur's the one that requested a tune-up fight. Now he got injured, so he's out. Who knows if he's going to want a tune-up or not? I don't know. But after this fight with Tevin Farmer, we're in. We're willing to do it. That's the fight that William wants. He wants to fight Shakur.
Shakur Stevenson shared his frustration over delays in facing William Zepeda, but confirmed they're set to clash in February and a heated matchup awaits. Shakur Stevenson stated on X, "I wanted to fight Zepeda in October. I was told he was having a baby, so he won't be ready to fight until February. I didn't even know he was fighting in November. I was upset when I seen that facts, but look, we here now. So February, we get it in." Shakur Stevenson fired back at critics, calling out the hype around William Zepeda and questioning the narrative against him. Confident and fired up, he's ready to prove his doubters wrong in February, turning their doubts into regrets. A showdown fueled by intensity awaits. In another post, he said, "Are we here now? The lies can't save y'all. The fight is happening. Reporters put this guy ahead of me, and he's not even a champion. They think this a dangerous fight for me coming off a hand injury, so let's find out. Come on." Facts, when the hate don't work, they start telling lies. It's good when I fry him in Feb, they all look stupid. Then they say he trashed, he was a bum. Assuming the Mexican comes through that contest unscathed, Stevenson and Zepeda are expected to meet on a mammoth February 22nd card in the Kingdom, reportedly joining Daniel Dubois, Conor Benn, and Chris Eubank Jr. on a star-studded fight night.
Have you had talks with Oscar or anyone else at Golden Boy who have kind of shared their opinion on the fight as well?
Yeah, my dad.
They're having a meeting this evening about it.
They're having a meeting tonight. So
we told everybody we want this fight. Remember, we contractors, y'all. The promoters work for the fighters.
That's true.
All right, but we said we want the fight. Shakur said if Zepeda ducking, we get next, so it ain't nothing else to talk about except the numbers.
All right, you gotta be a man of your word.
Promoter Eddie Hearn says they've made a massive offer to Golden Boy for their fighter Floyd Kid Austin Schofield to be the next opponent for WBC lightweight champion Shakur Stevenson on February 22nd. Hearn feels the 22-year-old Schofield should accept the offer because he has nothing to lose, which is easy for him to say. Schofield looked horrible in his last fight, struggling mightily against the second-tier fighter Renee Tellez-Giron, getting dropped in the 11th and absorbing a career's worth of punishment earlier this month on November 2nd.
Yes, this is like we're already on it. You know, my dad hit up Eric. You know, once I figured it out, I told my dad, I was like, now we can get the fight. You know, the fight is supposed to happen. My dad was like, I'm already on it. So my team, they're having a meeting tonight, and we'll see what they say. I don't see no problem with it.
After that performance, Schofield isn't remotely ready to fight anyone in the top 10, and definitely not a defensive fighter like Shakur, who will be playing hit and run all night against him. Hearn says he's also interested in Raymond Muratalla and WBO lightweight champion Denis Berinchyk for Shakur. However, he says the Berinchyk fight would be tricky to make because there are issues. He doesn't say what they are, but Top Rank is likely saving Berinchyk for their fighter Keyshawn Davis to fight. Hearn stated, "So hopefully one of those fights will be made, and I think there will be an announcement on February 22nd from His Excellency, perhaps even this week. If His Excellency is going to potentially announce Shakur's next fight as early as this week, it's a strong signal that Schofield will be the one he faces. Hearn isn't going to let Shakur fight the big punching Muratalla because he hits too hard. In Muratalla's fight against Tevin Farmer, even when he's getting outboxed, he's dangerous, even in the later rounds. All it would take is one solid right hand from Muratalla in the later rounds to send Shakur to the canvas, and he might not get up." Hearn added, "We mentioned Cordina for the fight against Shakur. The main plan would be to fight WBO lightweight champion Berinchyk for a unification. Obviously Top Rank, there are a few issues that as well. I think it might come from those other two, if not Berinchyk. The chances of Hearn getting Berinchyk for a fight with Shakur are slim, unless His Excellency Turki Alalshik wants that match. He can make it happen, but without his help, Berinchyk will be out of of reach, being saved for the Keyshawn match by Top Rank. On the other hand, Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions decided to sue Ryan Garcia to enforce the boxing contract. Garcia and his legal team sent a demand letter to Golden Boy Promotions last week, alleging that the company made decisions that invalidated its contract with Garcia. In reference to the retaliatory lawsuit against Garcia and his attorney, Guadalupe Valencia, Golden Boy issued the following statement to ESPN. Golden Boy has been proud to have worked with Ryan Garcia for the last several years and to help catapult him to the kind of stardom that led to the biggest boxing pay-per-view event in years just 2 months ago. With this filing, we are seeking to ensure that Ryan and his team will honor the remainder of his contract, a contract that Ryan himself called one of the most lucrative boxing deals for a prospect in the history of the sport. Golden Boy reiterated their dedication to Ryan Garcia's career, emphasizing their role in his journey from prospect to contender. They remain committed to securing top-tier opponents for Garcia, aiming to pave his path to a world championship and lasting legacy. They further said, "Since then, Ryan has moved on to becoming a legitimate contender, and we will continue to present Ryan with the best possible opponents that can eventually lead the way to a world championship and a historic legacy." Another of Garcia's lawyers, Bo Pearl, responded with a statement of his own, insisting that Golden Boy is guilty of breaching its contract with Garcia. Golden Boy is obligated to promote and enhance Ryan Garcia, not malign him on Twitter, and file a public, baseless lawsuit against him. Ironically, the lawsuit itself constitutes a breach of the very agreement Golden Boy is seeking to enforce. It is obvious retaliation to a letter detailing multiple asserted breaches of contract by Golden Boy. Ryan Garcia's lawyer, Bo Pearl, fired back at Golden Boy, accusing them of breaching their contract. He argued that Golden Boy's public actions, including filing a lawsuit and negative remarks on social media, violate their obligation to promote Garcia positively. It was also noted that, rather than address these serious issues in mediation, as is required under the contract, Golden Boy rushed to court to sue its fighter. "To be sure, we will respond to this gamesmanship and fully enforce all of Ryan's contractual rights against Golden Boy, as well as his rights under state and federal law." Canelo Alvarez had a similar issue with Golden Boy Promotions in 2020, resulting in Golden Boy releasing Alvarez from his contract. Garcia made several other allegations related to breach of contract against Golden Boy, including that Golden Boy is withholding bonus money from him due to his loss to Davis, even though his contract said a loss to Davis. Vasily Lomachenko or Devin Haney would still result in him receiving his bonus. The 24-year-old Garcia entered his fight against the undefeated Davis with a perfect 23-0 record, but he fell by 7th round knockout in what was the biggest bout of his career. Garcia signed with Golden Boy Promotions in 2016 and then re-signed a 5-year deal in 2019, but depending on the result of the litigation, the two sides may not see the end of that contract. It makes sense when you look at the big picture. Garcia's promotion company doesn't want one of its top fighters risking injury ahead of a return to the ring in a few months. In addition, Golden Boy not being involved in the exhibition bout would mean no revenue for them. De La Hoya is likely angling to get Golden Boy involved in some way. If the organizers, Rizin and Fanmio, agree to work with Golden Boy, it very well could go ahead, but if not, it probably won't. This year has been nothing short of an extreme roller coaster for Ryan Garcia. The then 25-year-old began the year with the idea of revamping his career. A crushing loss to Gervonta Davis in 2023 set him back, but a KO win over Oscar Duarte had him slightly back on track, with a huge opportunity ahead of him in April 2024 against Devin Haney. We all know what happened then.
Ryan, obviously the boxing world, they just want the Haney rematch so it could be settled once and for all. What is your message? Obviously, you guys are going through the lawsuit right now, but if you and Devin can run it back again, under what terms would it be?
Run it back the same way, just a little higher weight class.
Garcia dominated Haney, picking up the best win of his career. Then came the failed drug test revelation. Then came the meltdown. Then came the suspension. Garcia is now past the halfway mark of his suspension, so he can begin eyeing potential opponents for his return in April. While he waits, Garcia has decided to stay in form with an exhibition bout against Rukia Anpo, a Japanese kickboxer. Everything seemed fine for the fight to go ahead on December 30th, but a wrench has been thrown, and it's by Garcia's promoter. Oscar De La Hoya put out a statement statement on behalf of Golden Boy Promotions, who represent Garcia. Essentially, the event will not happen unless De La Hoya wants it to. Oscar posted, Golden Boy Promotions has exclusive rights to Ryan Garcia's fights. The organizers of this event, Garcia vs. Anpo, have acknowledged as such and have agreed in writing that our sign-off is needed for this event to occur, as no such sign-off has been given. As of today, there is no event with Ryan Garcia. The boxing world is buzzing after Oscar De La Hoya criticized Shakur Stevenson for facing 22-year-old Kid Austin, questioning the level of competition. As Stevenson looks to solidify his place among the best, all eyes are on who he'll face next. Will it be a big-name rival or another rising star? Stay tuned for the next chapter in Stevenson's journey. Also, don't forget to like this video and hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.